So, yeah, I think Greeny and I could be – if someone said that they were cousins, I would believe that, more or less. I mean, I don't think we actually look alike, but there's enough there that you would say, yeah, it could be related maybe.
Greeny has better hair. I'm going to be honest with you.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think the hair –
Greeny has some head of hair.
Better, yeah.
Probably better hygiene, too.
As he said that, I spat all over the place. Mike Greenberg, host of Greeny and Get Up. You can follow him at ESPN. Greeny with us now. Mike, you are you're one of the most famous New York Jets fans, I think.
You and Gary V?
And you're waiting on a big decision right now at quarterback.
I mean, I think Larry David probably gets the prize for being by far the most famous Jet fan. And then there's about 1,000 other people, and then there's me. But yes, we are waiting right now for Aaron Rodgers. I think yesterday was a huge win. I think we dodged the Derek Carr bullet. And so now we can sort of wait this thing out and get it right. Derek Carr is an extremely average NFL quarterback, and someone was going to pay him like he was a great NFL quarterback.
But they didn't.
And he didn't wind up getting as much money as I thought he would. But I would personally, I think it is time to swing for the fences. And so you try and get Aaron Rodgers. And if you don't, then I've always felt you hold your breath because I know about the injury history. But I've always liked Jimmy Garoppolo better than Derek Carr. I'm fine if you
I gotta go.
By the way, I'm with you, Mike. I'm with you. I'd rather have Jimmy.
Keyshawn sounds like he doesn't like it.
What? Jimmy Garoppolo better than Carr?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell him why he's wrong, Key.
By the way, there's a reason Belichick wanted him and Shanahan wanted him.
I was gonna try to tell him, but he's already convinced.
He's handsomer. I mean, there's Jimmy. The thing about Jimmy Garoppolo is that he's so handsome, it's distracting. Like while he's playing,
I never find it distracting. Actually,
it throws me off. Like I literally, every time they focus and you can see his face, I'm like, man, like what must life be like to be that handsome and to be an NFL quarterback?
He has a nickname, which you understand
Greeny, why do you think Derek Carr's average NFL quarterback? What tells you that?
Well, I just don't think he's any better than that. I thought he had probably as good a set of weapons as any quarterback in the National Football League had at his disposal last year, and they were bad. They were just flat bad. He's never won a playoff game. I understand he's had bad defenses and all that, but so have other people. Why are you laughing? I mean, these are facts.
No, they're not. They are facts, but they're not real facts. In 9 seasons, 6 head coaches.
Right.
You wouldn't take one of those head coaches. Would you take Jack Del Rio, Dennis Allen, Tony Sperano, John Gruden, Rich Bisaccia, or Josh McDaniel?
No,
you probably wouldn't be on your coaching list.
I understand. He's been in bad situations.
Bad situations.
See, but Greeny, I think a good quarterback can elevate bad situations, and I didn't see Derek Carr really doing that.
Well, and I don't know that the Jets right now constitute that much better of a situation. I mean, are you looking at Nathaniel Hackett and Robert Saleh and saying, well, we have Vince Lombardi and Norv Turner? I mean, we need someone who's going to walk in here and take things over. We need someone who's going to come in and be in charge. The Jets have an extraordinarily good defense, and they are well coached on the defensive side.
And ascendant young offensive talent.
They have a couple of good young players on offense, but they fired their offensive coordinator from a year ago for a reason. What they've done to back-to-back, I know that wasn't this coaching staff, but back-to-back quarterbacks who were drafted 3 and 2 respectively. I don't think anyone can look at the Jets and say, oh, let's just bring in a guy here and we will turn him into what we want him to be. Give me a finished product.
Yeah.
Give me Aaron Rodgers first and foremost.
You are 100% correct on the Aaron Rodgers front. He is very pretty. I'm trying to date Aaron Rodgers yesterday.
Yeah.
There's no question about he's a better quarterback than Carr for the Jets and for anybody else. But this narrative about Carr drives me nuts because people think he's like just a guy. And I'm like, no, man, it's not like that. You got to look at everything. You got to look at the system, new system. You got to look at the lack of weapons. You say, well, Darren Waller was in and out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Okay, Renfro in and out of the lineup.
Yeah.
He made sure to get the football to Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams had a Pro Bowl year. Okay, so I just look at it, I'm like, there's this narrative set about him. That's why my nephew is so excited, and they're excited about having him in New Orleans because they know what they had versus what they're getting.
Greeny, let me get you back to the Jets for a second. We had Chris Canty on our show last week, and he was talking about the fact that he doesn't believe you have to give up 2 ones anymore for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, no. I don't think you have to give up anything near that. Look, I don't think anyone else is involved in this. Aaron Rodgers has a de facto no-trade clause. Okay, he doesn't officially have a no-trade clause. But no one is trading for Aaron Rodgers unless he makes it clear he wants to go there. So he can tell he can veto. He doesn't have a no-trade clause, but he can effectively veto any trade the Packers want to make. They can't just call him up and say, hey, guess what, Aaron? We just traded you to Seattle, or just insert anyone here. He's going to have to want it. There are only 1 or 2 teams, I think, involved in this. I think it's the Jets, the Raiders. There's probably a team or 2 out there we don't know about, but he's going to have to play a significant role in this. I don't think there's any maybe you give up 1 first-round pick and something else, but I don't even know that for sure that it's that. I think I think when all is said and done, I think the Packers will wind up chipping in some of his money to trade him away. So I don't think the compensation is nearly the hurdle people are making it out to be.
I actually think the Jets are in a great position right now because the argument for, and Derek Carr's off the market now, but the argument for him is, I hear what you're saying about Saleh, whether they fired the offensive coordinator, but Saleh showed something as a coach. Like, he said things that would attract negative attention to himself to take it away from the team. I thought that was really smart. The receipts and everything. It worked, right? How does Saleh, you know what you're talking about? Took all the pressure off the young guys. They have ascendant talent on both sides of the ball. They can't draft and develop. Just bring in a guy who's ready now. Carr gave them several years. Like, no one bite at the apple would be as good as with Rodgers, but maybe there are more bites at the apple, right? Doesn't cost you the draft pick. Now I look at the Jets and I go, if they hit the home run and get Aaron Rodgers, great, especially if it's as you describe, in terms of what you have to give up. And if you don't, and you wind up with Jimmy G, a guy who Belichick wanted, Shanahan wanted, who's done nothing but win his whole career, you're doing, like, you kind of can't miss right now.
Let me throw another name at you, Keyshawn, and tell me what you think of this. Is Derek Carr definitively better than Ryan Tannehill?
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure I agree with that. But Ryan Tannehill is going to get cut in Tennessee. His number this year is going to be enormous. You guys just had Graziano in here. I was talking with him in the other room. Ryan Tannehill is going to wind up getting released, I think, in Tennessee. He's someone who's going to come a lot less expensively than that is. I'm not sure why. If you're saying to yourself, all you need is a game manager. The Jets have enough talent now with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and whatever else, and draft an offensive lineman and put together a really good line with that defense. You just need a game manager. I think that you either get Aaron Rodgers, who obviously puts you in a whole other stratosphere, or you try and get someone who is good that doesn't cost you a lot of money.
One more name before we get out of here.
What happened to Zach? Okay, go ahead.
One more name before we get out of here. Lamar Jackson. Would you give up 2 ones and then guarantee him all the money he wants to bring 3 weeks younger than Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson in with this young group?
Of course. I mean, I think you'd be crazy not to. But I can't believe, when push comes to shove, I just can't believe the Ravens are going to let that happen. Do we have time for me to give you my quick? This is what's happening, I think, with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They have reached an impasse. If Jay Williams and I were looking at each other right now, if we have a disagreement, and no matter what happens, you and I are sitting 10 feet apart from each other, and I say, meet me 5 feet away, and you're saying, I'm not meeting you 5 feet away, you got to come all the way over here. Then the only way for them to do that is to let someone else to decide, right? Bring in an arbitrator. The arbitrator are now the 31 other NFL teams. Well, the Ravens are basically saying, what we're not giving you, no one is going to give you. It's not because we don't value you. It's not because we don't love you. It's not because you're not the franchise. It's because no one should ever have guaranteed, because once we do that, then the entire way that these owners have been making money for 100 years doesn't work anymore. It is the first step towards everyone's contracts being guaranteed, and the owners don't ever want that to happen. So we're not going to do it, and no one else is going to do it. So you go out. If you find that deal from someone else, we'll give it to you. But we're banking on the fact that no one's going to give it to you. I think when push comes to shove, whatever Lamar Jackson gets on the open market, the Ravens will match.
I think there's a logical fallacy there, but we don't have time to get into it right now. And it's not one that
it's quite a tease.
It's not one that you make alone. I think everyone makes this, and I'll even shout out what it is. We'll talk about it another time.
Yeah.
The owners have to all spend within 10% of each other anyway. When you guarantee one position more money, whether it's guaranteed or not, it doesn't actually drive the salary cap up. That's capped as a percentage of revenue. So I'm curious as to why that's the prevailing wisdom, unless when you guarantee it, maybe you need to take a line of credit, and so there's interest on the pay. Like, I have to figure out why this is the case, because everyone says it, but it doesn't add up for me. That is Mike Greenberg, host of Greeny and Get Up. Thank you, Mike, as always.
Thank you.
Max's long-lost cousin.
It is. It could be. We could be easily related. Where are your people from in the old
Poland.
country? Oh, yeah. Well, half of mine was from Ukraine, but also Poland.
So maybe that half.
Yeah, maybe that half from Poland. Yeah. Is it a mistake if the Ravens give Lamar the non-exclusive tag? And would you give Lamar a guaranteed deal? KJM, ESPN Radio. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.